Russia has quietly built one of the most active ground robot industries in the world, and most of the companies producing the unmanned vehicles now fighting in Ukraine face no Western sanctions at all. That is the central finding of a comprehensive report published in April 2026 by the Kyiv-based think tank State Watch, which identified 32 models of Russian ground robotic systems and traced the corporate, financial, and supply chain architecture behind them. The research draws on Russian media, social networks, and corporate registries, with manufacturer data current as of April 2026. Of the 32 models identified, producers of 29 were confirmed. At least 20 of those identified types have been documented in confirmed combat use against Ukraine on Ukrainian territory and in the Kursk region. The scale of what Russia has built since 2022 is significant. Before the full-scale invasion, Russia had spent years testing unmanned ground vehicles with consistently disappointing results. The Uran-9, a heavily armed robotic combat platform tested in Syria, lost contact with its operator 19 times during trials, and its cannon could not fire while the vehicle was moving. Pre-war Russian ground robotics were, as the State Watch report puts it, primarily demonstrative rather than operationally ready. The Uran-9 has not been seen on the front lines in Ukraine. What changed after February 2022 was the war itself. The emergence of kill zones, the 10 to 15 kilometer tactical space from the line of contact dominated by FPV drones and loitering munitions, created a specific operational demand that no amount of pre-war development planning had produced. Soldiers and vehicles moving in that space become targets. The incentive to replace humans with machines in that environment is immediate and tangible, and the Russian defense ecosystem responded accordingly. The number of registered companies in Russia's service robotics sector grew 21.5% in a single year and doubled compared to 2021, reaching 563 companies as of September 2025. The most important development is serial production. 3 Russian ground robot models are now confirmed in serial production at meaningful scale. The Courier, manufactured by LLC NRTK Caps near Moscow. The Varan, produced by LLC Agency of Digital Development, and the Impulsam, built by LLC Gumich RTK. The Courier, a tracked, remotely controlled platform capable of carrying up to 200 kilograms at speeds up to 35 kilometers per hour, with control range of 3 to 10 kilometers, is currently the most widely deployed Russian ground robotic system at the front. By late 2024, at least 50 Courier units were reported in the combat zone, with total production exceeding hundreds. By early 2026, hundreds of Impulse units had been delivered. Russian Defense Minister Belousov confirmed in April 2025 that forces received several hundred unmanned ground systems in 2024 and that an order of magnitude more were planned for 2025, with each military group organizing its own ground robot production. The Courier's origin story illustrates how different Russia's new ground robot industry is from its pre-war equivalent. Development began in early 2024 among engineers from Buryatia, supported by military bloggers, then picked up by the Narodny Front's Kuliban Club, a pro-government volunteer organization that connects small engineering groups and inventors with funding from Russia's equivalent of DARPA, the Foundation for Advanced Research. That same funding mechanism supported the Omich, another serial platform now actively employed by Russian Southern Group forces, developed at the Omsk Armored Engineering Institute and commercialized through LLC Reng. Neither company is currently under sanctions from any jurisdiction. As of March 2026, only 10 of 20 identified manufacturers are under US sanctions, only 9 under Ukrainian sanctions, and only 3 under EU sanctions. The companies that are sanctioned tend to be the older Soviet-era defense industrial enterprises, well-known names that produce large quantities of conventional weapons but are minor contributors to the new ground robot sector. The companies actually producing the Courier, Varan, Omich, Bogomol, Bratishka, and Kurot, the platforms confirmed in combat, face no sanctions from any jurisdiction. Russia sources approximately 90% of its electronics from China, and ground robot manufacturers are no exception. Import data identified by the report shows that LLCNRTK caps imported DC motors from Chinese manufacturer HD LED Technology. LLC Gummich RTK imported ball screw assemblies from Qingdao Xingleader. LLC Reng imported relays, reducers, and drivetrain components from Ahi Enterprise. LLC GK Avanti, maker of the Bogomol logistics robot, imported lithium batteries from Gawonung Battery and Eve Energy, iFlight Xing Motors, and Arduino microcontrollers, with some shipments declared as quadcopter spare parts and equipment for forming plastic products, to obscure their actual nature. The technical limitations of current Russian ground systems are real and documented. Radio control links are the most critical vulnerability. Standard channels are easily suppressed by electronic warfare, forcing developers to seek fiber optic alternatives or relay positioning. Most platforms lack armor to save weight, making them easy targets for FPV drones. Battery range is limited. Thermal camera quality is poor. Internal Russian military documents reviewed by the researchers confirm these weaknesses while acknowledging strengths. Good daytime cameras, stable Starlink satellite control channels, and sufficient terrain mobility from tracked chassis. According to the report, approximately 90% of all Ukrainian military resupply to the Pokrovsk front section is now conducted by unmanned vehicles, a figure that reflects how thoroughly the kill zone has reshaped logistics on both sides of the line. Russia's ground robots still account for only approximately 0.2% of total logistics volume, but their tactical impact on specific front sections is considerably higher than that aggregate number suggests. The State Watch report recommends immediate sanctions expansion to cover the major unsanctioned serial producers and calls for sectoral export controls targeting the specific component categories: DC motors, lithium batteries, programmable controllers, remote control apparatus, and tracked or wheeled autonomous platforms with payload capacity above 5 kilograms, that flow primarily from China into the Russian ground robot supply chain. Russia's ground robot industry did not exist in meaningful form in 2022. By 2026, it is producing hundreds of units annually across more than 20 manufacturers, fielding them in combat, and scaling production with explicit government backing, including a 300 billion ruble national robotics program running to 2030. The window for sanctions to disrupt that trajectory before it compounds further is narrowing. According to the report's own framing, the industry is currently at hundreds of units per year, not thousands, as with aerial drones.